Growing up, I never necessarily had much. My broke African ass never had a console until the age of 9, which was when I got my first Nintendo Wii and Nintendo 3DS, and then at age 12 got a PS4, which I pretty much used to sweat off FIFA and Fortnite. But before then, the closest thing I ever had to a console was the sexy Sky TV box. It's a bit ironic that I'm praising Sky after bashing it in my last video, that my village Sky Wi-Fi was buffering.
Sky Wi-Fi is shit!
I mean, why would I need the Xbox or the PS2 when I had Sky Games, Disney Channel, CBeebies, CBBC, and most importantly, Cartoon Network? And the show my Malteser-headed badass looking loved the most was none other than Ben 10. And if for some reason you have no idea what Ben 10 is, then
take your index finger, cock it!
And for those who somehow don't know what Ben 10 is, it was pretty much a show about a 10-year-old Ben Tennyson who on a road trip with his grandpa Max and cousin Gwen stumbles across an alien device known as the Omnitrix, a watch which permanently gets stuck in his arm, giving him the ability to shapeshift into 10 different aliens, and during the road trip fights off different villains and aliens with his cousin and grandpa. This show was a certified classic. I loved it so much that I had the OG Ben 10 and Alien Force toy Omnitrixes. I even remember one day just going to school dressing up as Ben 10 because I just wanted to. But with me loving the show, you would think I would love a live action dedicated movie about my favorite kid show. No, just no. But unfortunately, that is something in 2007 and 9 we got when Cartoon Network decided to present to us Ben 10 Race Against Time and Ben 10 Alien Swarm. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the OhMarDayz YouTube channel, where I with my good friend Bria, where we have decided that we're gonna finally collab with each other on reviewing these Shamble Ben 10 live action movies. You will have I reviewing the Race Against Time movies and Bria reviewing the Oops, my bad, I meant Alien Swarm. Anyone who watched the movie knows I wasn't far off anyway. But anyway lads, let's get right into this video. Ben 10 Race Against Time was the 2007 live-action adaptation of the OG Ben 10 show, which starred Graham Phillips playing Ben 10, Haley Ram playing Gwen, and Lee Majors playing Grandpa Max. The movie is set post the OG Ben 10's final season, with Ben, after his adventurous summer of a lifetime, has to face the hardest challenge of them all: middle school. The movie starts off with the main antagonist known as Eon blowing and causing a lot of damage in some ends, which results in us being introduced to Ben Tennyson as Heat Blast. And the beginning dialogue between Heat Blast and Eon is so awkward, it just doesn't give me good hopes for the movie already.
People are trying to sleep, guy. Couldn't you wait until tomorrow to go on a rampage? This is the part where you tell me your name, what your evil intentions are.
Nigga, what's wrong with you?
Hey, Heat Blast buddy, cool trick and everything, but I think you could've got a bit quicker if you actually used your legs. My man bloody flying in 2 FPS. To be fair, the beginning fight scene turns out cool, but why did Ben allow the feds to get beaten up? But anyway, Ben absolutely obliterated my man. Jesus fucking Christ. I guess they weren't joking when they said he will never stop till he makes them pay. Speaking of that lyric, after we get the unimportant scene of Gwen and Grandpa speaking to Ben, we get the greatest remix I have ever heard for a kid's theme song. If you disagree with this slapping, just leave the video right now. Just fucking leave. But anyway, we get a montage of Ben's school life sucking, and everyone pretty much just being a dick to him for no reason. And it's just pretty much that typical early 2000s protagonist being bullied.
I think you're supposed to chew the gum, Timmy, so not wear it.
But he's not wearing the gum. But anyway, this is Cash and his bum buddy JT, who I'm guessing are meant to be those bullies from the very first episode of the OG series. We also get shown Ben's parents, who are those, well, how do I put it?
We understand that, Benny. No one here wants you to bottle your feelings.
No, way too many emotional volcanoes in this world already.
But you could have blinded Principal White.
Mom, Dad, it was just gum.
Okay, Ben, it's Sandra and Carl.
Yeah, that sounds about white.
Can I see that?
I don't know. Can you?
Are
Are there aliens among us?
What? Among Us? Please don't obliterate me in the comments, I'm sorry, okay? But pretty much inside the dessert shop, Ben gets violated by his school peers, which makes him want to turn to forearms to murder them? I hope this wasn't gonna turn into some dark ass shit. But luckily he ends up transforming instead of forearms into, oh my god, what the hell is that? He ends up turning into grey matter, doing some Home Alone type shit by messing about with the equipment in the dessert shop and getting his revenge, which they pretty much deserve, to be honest. But then again, making a big mess, leaving it to the only woman, the waitress, to clean it up, even though she's the only person that probably treats him with actual respect. Fucking dick.
Oh, what is that?
Can you focus it?
Not on this software. Hold on.
Sweet. You actually look like you know what you're doing.
I do know what I'm doing.
Yes, a bunch of button smashing equals big intellectual hacker. But it turns out that Ian guy Ben put in the spliff actually didn't die and is still alive and is still trying to come for Ben. So the gang get back together again and try to stop Bossman's antic, and while going into some factory type place, find this old man who apparently got aged up by Ian to the point where he just looks like this. Also, something I found funny is the way they reacted.
I'm not dead!
They gave a shit for like 3 seconds. Grandpa, I thought this was your bedroom, you ride or die. But before my man dies, he warns Ben that Eon needs the Omnitrix to help him go back home. So this results in the gang going to meet with the plumbers. And for those who don't know who the plumbers are, they were basically the alien flying organization Grandpa Max was in. And when they go there, that's where they find out quite the amount of adults Ben knows from his town are plumbers in disguise, including that waitress lady and his head teacher. But while they're waffling, the Eonu and his goons come to attack them out of nowhere, and we get another fighting scene. And there's just this one part in this whole fighting scene which makes me laugh every time. Like, what in the stuck sound effect is this? Before fighting, before Ben can even transform, Ian messes up the Omnitrix, preventing Ben from transforming, leaving Ben with the only option to run away, which results in Eon, an old man, chasing down a 10-year-old boy. Lovely movie. But anyway, Ben gets saved by the old Asian Donnie who turns out to also be a plumber. The next day arrives and my man's got hitters everywhere. Got them here, there, and there. By the way, by hitters I mean plumbers. I don't know why, but the scene just reminds me of a Lil Tay video.
Run LA. I got shooters there, here. I got shooters everywhere.
When going into the school gym, he's speaking to the head teacher and everything is calm until Ian appears.
And Ben.
Just one more thing.
Why do I find this so funny? But we get to see Ben transform into Diamond Head. The CGI doesn't get any better than this, lads. After this amazing CGI battle of the century, Ben's big brain thing, this Eon guy wants me alone and has the power to turn any nigga he wants to look like this old Donnie. So you know what? I will do exactly what he wants without a proper plan. So him and Gwen try to meet up with this Eonu and falls for the trap, which he knew was laid for him. But Ben, Gwen and Max gets chained up by Eon and the plumbers get locked in a room. We get the typical villain explanation of evil plans and shit, but this is when things just get confusing for me. While they are waffling, Eon says something about Ben in another timeline defeating him. Then he turns Ben from an American little boy to the biggest evil we all know and hate. A British person. Oh, shiver me timbers. The plumbers escape the locked room as well as Grandpa Max and Gwen escaping. Grandpa Max tries to sacrifice himself to stop Eon's thing, which I think is creating some kind of portal or something. And as that's happening, Gwen does the typical power of love and friendship just to stop Ben from, I don't even know what the character is meant to do. This literally just reminds me of a Twitter meme. When Ben goes back to normal and they're done fighting, for a few minutes they forget Eon ever existed, but then Eon comes back to freeze everyone apart from Ben, and we get to see the final transformation for the movie Wildman. And the funniest thing about this final fight is Ben using Gwen as a bat. Holy shit, man, this movie is something. But Ben finally defeats Eon, and then the movie ends with them being in a talent show, which was some kind of side plot, but I didn't really mention it because it wasn't really important. They come second place and that's how the movie ends. Now for my thoughts on this movie. It's a movie. Before I be some negative Nancy, let's start with some positives about the movie. The idea of setting the movie post summer vacation instead of ripping off an episode from the OG series and definitely butchering it, in my opinion, was actually really good. And I doubt this movie took itself seriously, which is why it's actually kind of fun to watch. Also, the cast casting for the characters were pretty good in terms of looks, most especially for the characters Ben, Gwen, and JT. Okay, now on to the negatives. Holy shit, this movie is something. Eon was a shit character who confused me half of the time. You're telling me this nigga can age anyone to the point that they look like this, but you lose to a bunch of old niggas you could have easily killed, and he only does shit for plot convenience. The acting was poor, most especially from Lee Majors, the actor who plays Grandpa Max. He just looked like he didn't want to be there. The CGI was something. Grey Matter looked scary as fuck. Diamond Head was... oh lord. Also, can't forget about that Gwen CGI thing.
No! It's not my time!
Also, a scene that really confused me was Grandpa Max's sacrifice. What was the point of the scene? What exactly did him holding the thing do? And the scene with Ben and him talking, they act as if he had no choice but to do this. But they all used teamwork to pull him out, then that's it, it's over. Was it that he was stuck to the thing like glue? Or that the writers were too much of a pussy to kill him? Overall, the movie was so bad that it was good. The CGI was shit. The dialogue was awkward as fuck, as well as the acting. I give the movie a 4 out of 10. Surprisingly, this is not the worst movie out of the two, but luckily I'm not the one watching that shit. Brielle, good luck my nigga.
There is so much to talk about. The Ben 10 franchise is a franchise that has been knocked down and scarred, and Ben fucking 10 Alien Swarm hits it when it's down, but simultaneously makes me just appreciate Ben 10 100 times more. And if you think this movie is the second coming of Jesus, you're completely right. I have no idea why Omar decided I would be the one to review this movie, but I have no regrets. I used to spend hours on Saturday nights watching shows such as Regular Show, Adventure Time, and most especially Ben 10.
Now listen! That's called motherfucking bars, nigga!
I grew up with Ben 10 and watched him grow from the original to Alien Force to Ultimate Alien and even to Omniverse. And as the franchise grew with success, the idea of a live action movie was brought into the works. And with that, the movies Ben 10 Race Against Time, which is questionable.
Ben! Ben 10 saying you stupid idiot!
But more importantly, Ben 10 Alien Swarm. Ben 10 Alien Swarm was released in 2009 with a budget of $40 million. And no man, the beginning of this movie starts off as a car shot, and I'm only bringing this up because of the amount of vehicle shots in this movie. I think they use the entire movie budget in car shots, which is funny because Ben only turns into 3 aliens this entire film. It's Ben 10, just make him turn into an alien. Before we get into this movie, it is so bad that it is so good. I couldn't help myself, but I couldn't stop enjoying it. Even to the lifeless acting and Grandpa Max not even wearing the right shirt. The movie starts off as a drug deal.
Buyer? Depends. What are you selling? Good stuff.
I thought this was a PG movie. You first get introduced to Gwen and Ben, but more importantly Kevin.
You're working with him?
Actually, I'm working with her. Kevin doesn't really work, he just stands around flexing his muscles.
Yeah, how about I flex them in your face?
Also, just want to say Ben is way too tall to be a 15-year-old. This guy's like 6'3". Barely into the movie, of course, Ben's watch starts spazzing out, and it wouldn't be a true Ben 10 movie if his watch doesn't stop working. The whole beginning scene is so dramatic for no reason. Every actor seems like they don't want to be here. I mean, this guy literally just ran off. We get introduced to this Elena character, who is the daughter of a plumber that we will get into later, and one of Ben's childhood friends. Remember that drug deal is alien technology, and Inspector Gadget randomly sets off this technology. Ben turns into the alien Big Chill, and I give this movie props. This alien actually looks pretty cool. They wrap up and the crew goes to their bunker, where we are introduced to Grandpa Max. And no disrespect to the actor, but I don't think this role fitted him. In Ben 10 Race Against Time, I think that actor did a way better job playing the role of Grandpa Max and also looking the part. Oh my god, he has a Glock 9! In this movie, Grandpa Max really doesn't like this Elena character because he also doesn't like Elena's father, the plumber character. And just for some context, if you never watched the Ben 10 shows, the plumbers are an intergalactic law enforcement organization. Grandpa Max really likes the plumber's rules and wants to stick beside him, but Elena's dad did not, so yeah, you can see like that little conflict, I don't know. And I just want to say Grandpa Max is the worst in this movie.
Elena was Ben's first crush. She was the only girl on his soccer team in middle school, and Ben couldn't kick a ball in a straight line when she was around.
I'm sure he'll be fine. I mean, he's all grown up now and everything.
Is Ben grown up? Where are you from? Ben is 15 years old and he also drives a motorcycle. And after many pointless vehicle shots, Ben and Elena decide to team up and investigate her father's laboratory.
That's a good girl. Bring him here to us.
Inspector Gadget realizes what Ben and Elena are doing and sends his stormtroopers, and just like that, the Omnitrix starts spazzing out. Now they have to fight the old-fashioned way, and we get arguably one of the best cinematic shots. When has the Omnitrix ever done this? They hop on Ben's bike, who is under the age of driving, and then punch a random pedestrian.
When you try your best.
best, but you don't succeed.
Back to Kevin and Gwen, who are going to investigate a building to get some leads, and we meet this guy who ironically had better enthusiasm than any other actor in this movie.
Ship is closed right now. Please return during regular business.
Then Kevin murders him. The alien chip technology almost takes out Gwen and Kevin, but Ben comes to the rescue. And finally, we get our second alien transformation in this entire movie. Ben wins, so we head back to Grandpa Max, who still doesn't trust Elena. This is the complete opposite of the Grandpa Max we all know. The crew try to figure out a plan, and the chip top possess Grandpa Max. And then Kevin murders him. So now Grandpa Max is under the control of the chips. They get a new car, and you know what happens. In order to stop the Inspector Gadget, the crew decides to face him head-on at his headquarters. They somehow get into the place, sneaking past the guards. No, not a single bit of context on how they got in. They then start arguing, but the Queen of the Chips is inside Elena's father, and Ben needs to stop the Queen. I feel like I've been neglecting the plot. So a quick rundown, remember these chips at the beginning of the movie? They have been controlling people such as Grandpa Max, and this Queen character is the brain behind it. But finally, we get an alien transformation. Which is this guy, and that's the Queen. Where did the budget go? Ben defeats the Queen and sets everyone, including Grandpa Max, free.
Call, disobeying orders, defying my authority. Grandpa, you know what that kind of behavior gets you?
And that's it. The story ends with another car shot. Ben 10 Alien Swarm. Part of me wants to throw this movie away and never hear about it, but another part of me just enjoys this movie. I know I didn't really get into this movie, but there's not much to talk about except for the bad acting, misuse of budget, and Kevin.
You did it!
The cheek. I find all the big bad alien ships and all I get is a kiss on the cheek.
Think Tank actually interviewed the actor of Ben, and a lot of work really went into this movie. They were actually supposed to be sequels, but unfortunately they were never made. We could have got a Ben 10 Ultimate Alien movie. Ben 10 really is just a great franchise, and this movie is just a goofy film from 2009. I hope everything's good, Omar, with your movie, even though I know it isn't.
So ladies and gentlemen, this has been OhMarDayz and Brielle watching the Ben 10 live action movies. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and subscribe to Brielle since he's extremely underrated. Also, follow me on the Berda, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll catch you soon. OhMarDayz out.
Success, make him get back. All that chit chat, riff back. My nigga saying it that. Nigga fucking up and he ain't on shit. I got like 50 rounds of Billy's clip. If I know the chip, nigga, I'll be the fifth. Cause mommy still gon' love a kid, nigga tryna like give me a bit. I'm like, nigga, fuck the bitch. The judge like, why you acting like a dick? I said I'm moving like I'm sneaking.